Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for those who've subscribed and who are sharing, who are commenting, interacting. It makes a huge difference. And if you are new here, I'm Tisha Oliphant. Welcome. I am born and bred in South Africa. I'm currently traveling the world and sharing my experiences. And please do subscribe. Please do click the notification button so that every time I come live or I upload a video, you can get notified that there's a new video from my end. Yes, and today I want to speak about cultural shocks for me in terms of when I visited Asia, when I was traveling within Asia. I just want to highlight some of the things that left me stunned. And I was like, gosh, what is this? Different continent altogether, different from South Africa where I grew up. So the first one, when I got to Asia, and when I say Asia, I've traveled now in Thailand, I've been to Cambodia, I've been to Malaysia, I've been to Philippines, I've been to Bali. And I'm not going to count countries where I was just in transit. These are the countries that I stayed for a number of days and got to understand the people, the culture, the music, the food, and so forth. So when I got to Asia, I just couldn't believe the amount of humid air, the heat wave. It was just unbearable coming from a space where Joburg, South Africa in Johannesburg is cold, and even, okay, some might get hot, but yeah, later in the evening you still get the breeze. And I found Asia to be very hot. And yes, I know Thailand, they had said it has been in its hottest temperature or highest temperature in 20 years when I was there. But humid air, the heat wave, that was a shock for me. Following on that, the fact that everything has aircon installed to assist with the heat. You go inside the room or house or hotel, there's air conditioner. You go in a car, it's air conditioned. And I'm an outdoor person, so when I go to a restaurant in Africa, I like to sit outside and enjoy the view and enjoy the breeze, the fresh air. But I just found myself here that being outside was the worst choice ever because it is so hot. You rather be inside and just get the fans and the air cons. And I was just thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not sure what the health impacts are. When you find yourself having to inhale sit under an aircon for so long, like someone, I struggle with my sinuses. I'm a cold-blooded animal, so I was just thinking, gosh, what are the long-term effects? And I recall when I wasn't well and I was in Philippines, I was longing for a campsite. I just wanted, because when I'm back home weekends, I normally go for hiking. I love nature, I love the greenery, I love outdoor life. So I cannot be kept in a room, in a house, and sit for hours. So when I really found myself so exposed in these air cons, I just missed so terribly and so badly being outdoor. And I recall trying to research where I could go and just have some fresh air, but I ended up not going because there were also challenges even with that camp site. So yeah, that was really a cultural shock that there isn't fresh air. Yeah, Africa is beautiful. South Africa is the best. Guys, let's enjoy our oxygen. Let's stay outside. Let's continue crying. Let's sit next to under our trees and breathe and hug them. It is a blessing, and I appreciated nature more when I was in Asia because, yeah, I felt deprived of such. So moving right along, what also got me shocked was the fact that in most Asian countries, when the Asians see you, they will say, "Where you going?" You know, without greeting. I guess it's their way of being friendly, and with us Africans, it's some way, somehow it sounds disrespectful. Like, how do you ask an adult where is he or she going? So every time I would get that question, where you going, I would like, can these guys just chill, you know? And I soon read up that it's their way of being friendly, it's their way of greeting, it's their way of acknowledging and wanting to give you a lift. Obviously, you pay because in most cases it's the Grab drivers or the Gojek drivers that will ask you the question. But it stayed with me. It's drilled here that as soon as someone sees me, they would go, "Where you going?" And I'm like, gosh, that sounds a bit rude, you know? But from their end, it's not rude at all. Yeah, still talking about shockers. Us as Africans, South Africans, when we burp, we'll say, "Excuse me," you know, and yeah, it's just something that we have so much respect and we feel bad. And sometimes people do burp and they'll be unconscious, and you're like, why didn't the son say excuse me in your hearts? uh, and I found that here spitting like and and burping is a norm. So people here don't say sorry, or they don't excuse themselves after burping. Oh gosh, it took a lot. I can't say I'm used to it, but it was a shocker that a person will eat and eat or come next to your ear and just go "Whoa," and not even, uh, you know, they say twitch and just carry on with their lives as though there's nothing wrong. And yeah, those are the Asians. And talking about spitting is the worst. I recall in Philippines, there's this one hotel, they've got a sign there that you'll be fined a certain amount if you spit. And I was like, can they do something? Of course. I won't forget one time when I was in Bali, and I was like sort of tired of eating the rice and the noodles, and I wanted like Western meal, you know. And I was walking around, and the next thing I see this warung, you know, which is a kitchen run by locals. They call them warung. And I approached it because they had this amazing sign of ribs and burgers, and I'm like, this is exactly what I list for right now. And as I was going there, I'm about to go in, and I see the owner. Just before I could walk in, he just went, oh, guys, inside the restaurant. I turned back. It was so rude of me, but it was just a shock that how do you spit in a restaurant where I am coming to buy food? And this is just to show you how it's nothing to them. The burping and the spitting, it's part of who they are. Oh, guys, for me it's gross. It's gross, but yeah, I guess different cultures when you travel, that's what you learn. That's what you have to get used to. And another cultural shock, and this one was a funny one, it's the bidets. It's so nice to see most hotels having bidets. They even have the shower toilets, or toilet shower toilets, where you can clean yourself afterwards. I recall when I was in Malaysia, I went to Malacca, which is more traditional, more rural, uh, where the culture, the depth of the culture is still observed there. And I needed to use the bathroom while traveling. And I got to the bathrooms, and the bathroom, the one was the squatting one, and I went out because I'm not used to that, waiting that let me wait for the normal toilets. And as people were coming out, I'm realizing, Haibo, this one is also one of the squattings, and all of them were the squatting toilets. Whew, guys, that was now another cultural shock for me, that how do they do this thing? They squat, and there's still that shower as well, where you rinse, and because the use of shower makes the toilet so wet, so as you walk in, it's water all around. Yeah, that was really, really too hectic for me to handle. So yeah, if you're coming to Asia, do your squats. Start now. When you exercise, include squats. Chances are you'll be squatting in those public toilets, believe it or not, which is something you hardly find back at home. Yeah, and whenever I go to restaurants, I picked up that we're so used to knife and fork, or fork and knife, however you call it. But here in Asia, they use a fork and spoon. So when they serve you on your table or at the table, they will place a fork and spoon, and most people use a fork and spoon to eat their meals. I also practiced, and I'm not talking like chopsticks will be there. I'm talking like those who uses the cutlery. It's normally fork and spoon, and you hardly find the knife unless you ask for it. It's a standard. They serve with a fork and spoon. That also was like, oh, different worlds all together. And we normally on the table we will have salt and pepper, and with them there will be salt and pepper and sugar. Sugar will always be at the table for you to add more sugar to your meal, for you to add more flavor to your meal. And yeah, because most of the meals are, I don't want to say sweet and sour, because they're more on the sweet side. They are really on the sweet side. So when the sugar is on the table, I'm like, this meal is so sweet. How can they still put sugar on the table? And I think to myself, there's days where I would lust for wings, and I'll see these amaze balls wings sitting in, and I want to order, and I quickly remembered, oh, they most probably so sweet. They're not as spicy as I would love them to be. And I guess it's important to ask, are the wings, or is the chicken, or whatever, pork, spicy, or is it sweet and sour? Because most cases you'll find that the meals or cuisines have more on the sugary side. So yeah, that was heavy for me to also get used to and accept, which it is part of this journey. I just want to make sure that I didn't leave out anything else. And yeah, what also shocked me was the smell. Oh gosh, Asia has the strongest smell, sewer smell, drainage smell. Some hotels, when you book in them, they have this strong odor that you will not be able to tolerate. You'll end up forfeiting your money and trying a different hotel. So it's important that before you book, you read up, check the reviews, more especially about the smells in the bathroom, the smell in the drains, the pipes, and be very careful. They have the strongest stench I can think of. It is hectic. There, I need to tell you, it is heavy, heavy, heavy. Yeah, I think I've covered most of what shocked me. And when it comes to outfits, I traveled with very few outfits with the hope of getting something when I get here. Yeah, but because I'm a fully figured lady and I'm a tall lady, although some people beg to differ, they say I'm not tall at all. I struggled with the outfits because they have Asian sizes. You will see an item which is a large, for instance, but when you go try it on, you're like, no, but this is a small, this is an extra small. So if you're gonna come to Asia, make sure you bring your own clothes if you are a fully figured a being. Unless you are tiny and petite, you will love. They've got most beautiful styles, yes, outstanding outfits, but you really struggle when you are fully figured like me. And same applies to shoe sizes. They've got the tiniest, I think they're up to size 39. I've seen 40 ones. And if you like me with a big feet, you really gonna find yourself walking barefoot, a true African, Dakashaga, because where you gonna get a shoe size here? Good luck, unless of course you'll try and buy sneakers and techies, because they are some of the sizes. And even with my techie, I didn't buy a techie that I actually like. It was the only one with my size. So that's how bad things are for us Africans, the Tolis and the African figure people and African bound people when you visit Asia. So just come prepared. Yes, and I think I've covered some of the cultural shocks, and some of them, and one last one, and obviously there'll be more, so I'll do a part 2 if need be, was the number of motorbikes. That was a shocker. The number of motorbikes on the road, the sound, the fumes, the fact that others travel on the pavement. Now we try and use the same space as pedestrians with these motorbikes, guys. And the fact that there aren't many traffic lights to assist with the flow of traffic and keep order was just another shock, that you have to constantly be careful, very careful on the road, and run as fast as you can before you are run down by a motorbike. That was another shocker for my system. But I guess after traveling a few countries in Asia, I've gotten used to the system. Yes, I'm still struggling a bit. It's still, yes, I get twists and turns in my tummy when I look at the motorbike situation, and the fact that you hardly find traffic lights or hardly find someone directing the traffic. You need to figure it out yourself. You need to find your own way. That was, this is too hectic for me. But thank you so much for listening to all these cultural shocks. And if I have more, I'll sit down and have a part 2 video and just share with you, so that when you eventually come visit Asia, you don't get the shock that I got when I got here. And continue subscribing, guys, please. hit the notification button and subscribe button if you haven't. And thank you. I truly appreciate your support, and I do try my level best to respond to all the comments. I'll see you again in our next video. Keep well.